Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Community Connection. I got a room full of newbies, special guest and special guest host. But before I introduce them, let's go to our regular standby, the Melvinator, Gen Z's ambassador to the boomers. How are you, Taylor?
I'm good.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Am I relevant as a boomer? What would it take for me to be relevant to Gen Z?
Like,
There you go. That sounds just like I don't know.
relevant in like daily life or like
Relevant to
the
a Gen Z, to your generation. What do I have to do?
I think sharing wisdom, to be honest. I feel like, I mean, I don't know if I speak for my whole generation, but like, I don't know, it's nice to have advice and stories from people who have more life experience than you know?
So you're saying I'm still useful, so that makes me relevant? Until I don't have anything else to teach, then
You're getting better at backing me into a corner.
Well, that gives me great joy and happiness.
Good. I'm glad.
We appreciate you, Taylor. We really do. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to talk about a special fundraising event we just had recently called the Impact Event. And we're going to show a little video that introduced the evening. So watch this real quick, and then I'll introduce you to my guest in the studio with me.
I grew up with Patrick Henry Family Services. There's a legacy that we share. I went to Hat Creek Camp every summer. I went to school with the girls from Patrick Henry Girls Home and made close friendships with them. I didn't walk the same path, but my path paralleled the organizations as a student, a teacher, and an administrator. To you, the children may be a number. To me, they're my classmates, my students, my extended family.
The relationships I've made through this organization have intimately informed the direction of my life. As my love for these children and families has changed forms many times throughout the years, so have the programs at Patrick Henry Family Services.
From homes of intervention to programs of prevention and reconciliation,
Everything that has changed has been done to prioritize the best interest of every child. Our legacies are intertwined.
tonight we'll discover the true impact a meaningful relationship can make.
I love that Allison has a history with us, with her family, and has watched our kids come through the homes, has watched us transition as an organization. So she was a great spokesperson and heard a lot of good feedback from folks that she did an excellent job that night. So if you're watching, Allison, thank you. Now let me introduce you to our special guest host, Sarah Phelps. How are you, Sarah?
Morning, Mr. Day. I'm good. How are you?
So tell us, for those who may not know, what your title and position is here at Patrick Henry.
I am the Director of Donor Engagement.
So what does that mean exactly?
That means all things fundraising.
Is it fun to fundraise?
Sometimes.
Yeah, so how was the Impact event?
It was awesome. It was a great night. Lots of great people supporting us in the room. Beautiful.
Yes,
it was a great night.
It was. So from a fundraiser's perspective, right, we made a lot of good connections with people, and that's really important. Meaningful relationships was our theme, and we'd like to have meaningful relationships with our donors and our volunteers, everybody. But in the end, right, the bottom line for a fundraising event is funds. So do you feel like we did, that we accomplished what we set out to do?
Yeah, we ended the night with about $112,000, which is fantastic, and people are still giving in honor of that night. So,
wonderful.
Yeah, the count continues to go up a little.
And really, the impact is the connections we made with those folks, right? Whether they've been longtime donors, you're right. We gave them another reason to be engaged with us, but there were some new folks there too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We had about 45, 50 new donors out of that night, new relationships, and it's a great opportunity to bring people along who we know in our personal lives who have a passion for supporting children and families.
Do you have a favorite moment of the evening?
The stories for sure. Kendall's story was really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of feedback from those who attended that the stories were really powerful, and we did a good job with those. So what do you what's next? I mean, what's from a fundraising perspective? Where do we go from an event like this? What do we hope to see happen?
We hope to see that these people will stay engaged with us, that they will want to learn more and do more, and not only give their financial resources, but maybe their time, whether that's through volunteering with us or just taking that newfound knowledge to their own community, their own church, and building meaningful relationships with our community and people that they can influence in their circle.
Yeah. Because for us, somebody volunteering and making a difference in the life of a child and a family is as impactful as any donation to us. And so if that happens as well as, right, both those things happen, it'd be beautiful. So before you introduce our guests, tell us who's on your team as donor engagement. I know it's a small team, but it's growing.
Yes. So right now it's me and Evan. Shout out Evan. Evan is our donor engagement coordinator. So he does all things project management and database for us, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
Data guru.
Yes. Thank goodness for that. And then we will be having a new person join our team towards the end of the month. Her name is Liz.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small but powerful team. Well, appreciate all that you do, Sarah, and all the work that you've done leading up to the Impact event and all the work that's going to be after that. And I would just say to those folks that are watching, for us, obviously income's important, money's important, nonprofits need that to operate. But we really do want to have relationships with folks. The mission is always more important than the money, and I always feel like if we lead with the mission, the money follows. I never want to lead with the money, right? That's the most important thing. The mission is the most important thing. And as believers, we believe if we're faithful to what God's called us to do, then He blesses. So there's the stuff that we do, and we try to do it with excellence, and I think you and your team does it with excellence. But the rest of it, we believe, is up to God if we stay faithful to that. So why don't you introduce us to the people who made the night possible, who pulled off some magical moments for us. Would you do that?
Yeah, I'm excited to introduce the first guest because we've been friends for a very long time. This is our second time working together as far as our second job.
That's right, I forgot that.
We met at a previous employer. We worked together and became good friends there. And so it's been like 6 years, probably 5 years that we've been friends. And then I started here, and 6 months later, I brought her along.
Hey.
So
you're responsible.
Yep, it's my fault. Yeah. So I'm really excited to introduce our director of events and special projects, Rachel Lee.
That's where you say hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm also the director of chaos.
The director of chaos. That's actually on your door, isn't it?
It is on my door, thanks to Jeff Nitz.
Yeah. So you kind of pulled off a pretty big event, right? There's probably 1 million moving pieces, and I was impressed by how all those pieces fell together, right?
Thank
Just
you.
when they needed to fall together, right? And it was a beautiful event. And we've done a number of these, and from my perspective, I didn't see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. But from those who were sitting at the tables that night, it looked flawless. So, thank you.
I mean, it was mostly flawless. One little hiccup, but the hiccup, I think, helped engage the crowd more. But the planning that went into this was nuts.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. And we had a pretty flawless night, I would say, in general. Things couldn't have gone better. I normally wouldn't say that.
Yeah. You wouldn't normally say that.
Normally, no. But the night started on time.
Yeah.
Everyone paid attention to my little iPad that was up on the stage that no one could see.
Yeah.
Get off the stage.
Yep.
We rehearsed the event. We ran through everything multiple times, and
Yeah.
it fell together so well.
So it's like a professional athlete. When you watch them do their thing, you go, they make it look so easy, but you don't see all the practice and hard work and dedication. And that's what happened. Everybody saw the flawless stuff, but you were the one who made that all happen. But you had a lot of helpers. You had a lot of staff
minions.
and volunteers, and a very special helper that you brought with us.
Did,
right?
yeah.
So
I fortunately had a intern this semester, and this is Hannah from Liberty.
hi, Hannah from
Hello.
Liberty.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your major,
Yes,
all
please.
that fun stuff?
As they said, my name is Hannah. I go to Liberty University, and I'm majoring in business entrepreneurship with a minor in Spanish.
Awesome. Business. Wow, this is a good experience for you then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything about the night that stands out in your mind as you go, wow? Now, it could have been something impactful regarding the mission, but it may be something that you learn from an educational standpoint, right? You're doing an internship here, so
Yeah.
that you probably watch something and go, I want to remember that for when I do this in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Impact event was one of the, probably the first events, fundraising event like this that I've been at before. So it was really cool to see all the behind the scenes and helping Rachel with a lot of research and a lot of planning and just gathering materials and thinking through the steps and the process that will need to be done, and then just seeing it come to what it was. It was really cool to see. All the decorations and the whole room looked really good.
It was.
Compared.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the evening?
Well, obviously the food was really good.
Well, it was good.
So,
Wasn't it? Yeah.
but I liked hearing all the stories, and I honestly did like your speech. So,
You honestly did.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because we wouldn't want you not to be honest.
yeah, it was just a really good night. It was cool to see.
Yeah. Well, I had a pretty good speechwriter.
Yeah.
A Gen Zer helped write that speech. Did you know that? That made me relevant. So, what'd you learn from this? I mean, you put a lot into it, obviously, but what did you get out of it, Rachel?
I learned to trust my team.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
When you do an event like this, you can either control it all or trust the people that you have empowered to help you pull it off. And the team I had, from Hannah to donor engagement to marketing to my planning team and even the decorator, Faith, full trust in them, full empowerment to just do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And that was a big lesson for me. I've gone the other route. I've gone to where I'm going to control it. I'm going to do it. That's so stressful.
It is stressful.
The week before the week of Impact event, 6 key members were in Florida, calling all of y'all out. They were in Florida for a conference, and I think every single
you
one of
nervous.
them reached out. Are you okay? Are you alive?
Aw.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm alive. Am I okay? I don't know. But what was amazing is that Friday they got back, several of them, as well as several staff members, sat with me in almost a 3-hour meeting. We ran through the entire program, segment by segment. And because of that, we were able to get the program for the actual event flawless.
Yeah.
We critiqued it. We made it better. And so trust your team.
There you
Trust
go.
the people that have come to help you is
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I've learned. The week of the event, everyone was like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I wasn't stressed. I was flying high.
So even meaningful relationships was a key to a
Absolutely.
successful evening, right? Because you had
Absolutely.
relationships with this team, and because of that, they cared for you and about you, and as you cared for the guests that we were going to have the night, and that made it happen. Can you imagine doing that without that support team? Without
I have done it without that support team,
Yeah.
and it's miserable. It's not fun. These people made it fun. The day of the event, we were decorating, and we were done within an hour and a half of starting to decorate. We had, Faith was our decorator for the event, and she just had it laid out perfectly, and we were able to just give marching orders, and people went to work, and we were done before lunch showed up. So,
So the trust is the basis for you then to give away some of
Absolutely.
your authority about what's going to happen, right? Some of
Absolutely.
your control. And that's a lesson I think we've learned here at Patrick Henry Family Services, at least I've learned as the CEO, is there's only so much you can control, right? And there's only so much you should control.
Absolutely.
And those are often also two different things. But as you start giving away your authority and you start trusting in the team, and the team can trust in you that you're going to give clear instructions and that, right? It just, there's a synergy that starts happening. That's a beautiful thing. And so with those lessons learned and while you're still riding high on that, are you thinking about next year already?
it's funny you asked that. I actually reached out to a venue yesterday
Did you
to
really?
start looking at some dates. So, yeah, we'll start the preliminary planning now, get a
about
date
that?
secured, and then start building out a timeline, having all the pieces fall together,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff.
So Sarah, she's given us the recipe for a successful event where people feel like they've had a meaningful evening. They've gotten, right, there was a connection. They were moved. They gave. So success from that regard. From your perspective as somebody who leads donor engagement, do you have a different definition of success in terms of what the evening's all about?
Well, certainly, like, the execution
Yeah.
is important because we want people to learn and feel the things that we set out for them to learn and feel. But also,
and if the evening doesn't go well, then that kind of lowers their trust in us that we're running,
exactly.
doing well with their money, right? And they're investing in us.
Right. Or if, they aren't happy about the food or the timing or, whatever
Yeah.
it may be,
Yeah.
that just puts a negative in their mind. But I think success also will look like the after of the event, the follow-up with the donors, the appreciation to them for how they are impacting the community by being involved in this event, but also hopefully finding people who are passionate about this and have really, this event kind of ignited that passion for them or reignited. And they're then able to take that out, like I said before, to the community, that they are also able to bring in people that they know who may be passionate about children and families in our community and be able to bring them alongside and introduce us to them so that we can get them involved in this as well.
We failed to ask you about your background and how you got to Patrick Henry, because this is your first time on the show, and I keep forgetting that. So remind everybody about kind of your why. Why
Sure.
are you here at this organization, but why this space? Because you just recently graduated with a degree in...
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
You don't
I don't want to jinx myself.
Okay.
No, I have, I'm finishing up my Master's of Nonprofit Leadership
That's
Studies.
right.
I do walk in May, but I have
Yes.
2 summer classes to finish,
Gotcha.
and I'm worried I'm going to jinx myself and not pass my classes by walking early. So my why, it's kind of a funny story. So when I was 13, my first concert was a Stephen Curtis Chapman concert, and I know Claudia would appreciate this if she was here. And it was like early 2000s, and Stephen Curtis Chapman and his wife had just adopted their first daughter from China. And it was when the Chinese government had the one-child policy in full swing, and there was an epidemic of orphan girls
Yes.
in China. And that was just really impactful for me, like hearing their story, and they were encouraging people to get involved at the concert. And I was 13, so there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it then, but I really felt like the Lord was like, this is what you're going to do with your life.
Wow.
And at the time, I took that really literally to be like, I'm going to adopt a girl from China. And since then, obviously, like, international things have changed.
Sure.
Thankfully, one-child policy is not a thing in China anymore. And throughout the years, that was like, I'm going to age myself, but like 19 years ago now that happened. And throughout those years, I have done a lot of like educating myself and, following people who are adoptees, foster parents, adoptive parents on Instagram, and finding ways, especially to listen to the voices of adoptees and learning about the foster care crisis in America and the need here. And it changed my perspective a lot as far as, adoption is inherently trauma, regardless of if you get great foster parents who are so loving and supportive and healthy. Even if an infant is adopted at birth, there's still trauma.
There's still trauma. You're
and, the idea that we can change that and we can prevent that from ever happening in the first place. Unfortunately, there will probably always be orphans in some respect, whether families are unwilling or unable. Like that will unfortunately always happen on this side of heaven. But
or just consequences of war and famines and national disasters. Yeah.
So, but there are things that we can do to lessen that and to make that impact less severe and less widespread. And so that's something that I've really learned a lot about since coming here. But it really fit well in what I feel called to do personally.
So that explains the calling. What explains this particular aspect of fundraising? Yes. Because people don't grow up saying, I want to be a fundraiser when I grow up. I mean, I've not met one yet.
I was not one, no.
You was not.
So when I was in high school, I was really involved in politics, and I also went on a missions trip to Haiti, and we worked in a children's home run by a Haitian church. And it was really impactful. Like, I loved that trip, and I also really enjoyed the fast pace of political campaigns. So in high school, I kind of debated, do I want to be a missionary or do I want to go into politics?
Did
like
you
the
really?
two most different things that you could do. And I ended up getting into school for politics. And so that's my undergrad degree, was in government. And very early on, I realized that being a campaign manager was not what I wanted to do in my life. I wanted to have community. Before I moved away to college, I had never even been away to summer camp.
Gotcha.
And so I moved freshman year to go to college and had to start over with community and realized that, like, I don't want to do this every couple of months for the rest of my life. And still having that passion that I found in mission work as well, and kind of discovering that nonprofit work weirdly brings those two together.
Yeah, it does.
That I am able to now, instead of working towards getting people to support a politician with their vote, I'm working towards getting people to support a mission with their finances. And it's weirdly like the things that I like, the fast pace, the events, the meeting people, the talking to people about what we do and what we stand for, is kind of weirdly uses a lot of the same skills that I really enjoyed in politics.
Yeah, because in politics, if you convince somebody to vote for your candidate, right, that's a win, or give money to the candidate. In the same way here, right, a donor with their dollars is voting that they like what we do.
And putting their support behind a much more worthy cause than
Absolutely.
a person who's going to let you down.
Although I would say we do desperately need in our culture right now some folks who would see politics as their mission space, right? And bring some salt and light and some reconciliation in that space would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And it's still something that I'm interested in my personal life.
Yeah.
But I enjoy working for the mission a whole lot more.
Yeah. So do you have questions for Rachel or Hannah about the evening or about just anything that you would ask them?
Well, I think Rachel didn't get asked what her favorite part of the night was.
I think my favorite part of the night was watching people walk into the room.
Really?
And
do their eyes kind of light up?
Yeah, their eyes would light up, and seeing people that they need, the networking, because when you see their eyes light up, you know your team did a good job.
Yeah.
So, and then the next favorite part was that it was over at 8:10. And then people mingled quite a bit. People stayed and talked and, delayed us from cleaning up, which is fine. But people,
It's always a sign of success when people don't rush out of a place, right? They want to, something happen and they want to stay. So
that was really cool to see. Yeah. I do have a question for Hannah, though.
Oh, please.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what drew you to your internship.
Oh, okay. Well, since my major is business entrepreneurship, I plan to start my own business sometime in the future. So right now, my major interest is event planning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
As a business, to
As
do
a
event planning as a business. Yes, wonderful.
That is my top interest right now. I have many, many others. So we're kind of just trying to decide on that. So I just wanted to get the experience and see what it was like to be an event planner.
Yeah.
So I think Rachel did a really great job of that.
Yes.
So we haven't scared you off yet?
No. Well, thank you for all the help that you did, because you were doing just yeoman's work helping Rachel in so many details. Let me ask you a question real quick. Why Liberty University? Why come here? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Wow, that's a big question.
Okay.
Well, I'm from Pennsylvania, but kind of like more south. So I'm only 4 hours from Liberty. When I was deciding on colleges, I applied to 4 because I was like, I don't want to do all these applications. So I kind of just narrowed it down from the beginning. Yeah. And so I applied to 4. One of them was Messiah University. I don't know if you know.
I do know, yeah.
And then it was IUP and then Millersville. But I kind of knew that I wanted to go to a Christian university. And so that narrowed it down to 2.
Right.
And my sister actually went to Messiah for a little bit. And she said, like, Hannah, like, it's a great school. I don't know if it's quite your vibe, like, if you would really, like, flourish there. And so we came to Liberty and did a tour. And I was like, wow, it's so cool. Yep. Has so much stuff.
That was the place for it, yeah.
Yeah, and so then I decided to come to Liberty. It was a little bit, like, later in the new year I decided, which was a little bit late, but that's okay. I'm here and I'm graduating.
Well, we're glad you're here and that you chose to do your internship with us.
Yeah.
And I hope that one day when your dream comes true and that you are an entrepreneur in your business, that you remember your time here and find your favorite nonprofit and your favorite ministry to support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe sometime in the future that I'll start my own nonprofit.
There you go.
That's way far in the future.
Well,
maybe.
Stay in contact with us, okay? Yeah. All right. Well, we need to wrap this up. So, Sarah, tell us how people can learn more about Patrick Henry Family Services, whether they came to an event or they've heard something today that they'd like to know more about. You've got some events coming up.
Yeah. One is on June 12th. It's called Coffee Connections. And so we provide coffee and donuts. And you can join us from 8 to 9 a.m. at our Vista Park location and come hear some stories and meet some of the staff and learn more about how we may be able to partner in the work that you're doing, the work that we're doing, and how we can come together for the community.
Okay, good. I hope that you come. So as we wrap up, let's close with, we usually close with the Two River video, but we want to show a video from the night of the Impact event that really kind of summarizes what we're all about here at Patrick Henry. So thanks for joining us. Liam, let's show that video, and we'll see you next Thursday.
A healthy, thriving family shouldn't be a child's dream. It should be their reality. It can be their future. We're a faith-driven family services organization focused on mending families so they're able to stay together. Think of us as an oak tree, a symbol of strength and resilience with deep roots. We seek to equip vulnerable families with those same qualities, meeting them wherever they are and providing hope, resources, trauma-informed care, and meaningful relationships that stand the test of time. Think of our ministries as branches of the oak tree, each specifically designed to meet different kinds of needs. Family is a nuanced concept. That's why our family care team approaches complex situations with simple solutions that include professional intervention, interpersonal support, and parenting education with the goal of mending families and keeping children safe. Life is messy, and sometimes people just need someone safe to talk to. Hope for Tomorrow Counseling is made up of compassionate counselors who are here to listen because everyone's story should be heard. Through Hat Creek Camp, we provide exceptional camp experiences. We pay careful attention to the needs of youth, encouraging campers to grow through trust-based challenges and successes. Our Connect team equips and empowers volunteers with the necessary training and support to serve confidently, matching their passions with opportunities. As a whole, our organization partners with caring individuals, churches, nonprofits, and businesses to do the redeeming work of restoring hearts, minds, relationships, and lives. Because every child deserves the solid foundation of a healthy family. Together, rooted deeply in prayer, we can make it possible. One child, one family at a time.